Well, hello and welcome back to the final round of the 2019 FIA World Rallycross Championship. And unmistakably, you can see where we are because that is Table Mountain. Yes, we're in South Africa, Cape Town, the mother city. How's it? And look, that is the circuit that is all ready and prepped for qualifying 2. We'll bring you up to speed very quickly with what happened in qualifying 1. But thanks very much for joining us live. As you know, it's the crucial sharp end of the championship. People often come to South Africa to go to safari and try and see the big 5, but right now you're about to watch the big 3, Hansen and Bakkerud in a battle for the championship. It's the closest it's ever been. The last 2 times we've been to Cape Town, Johan Kristoffersen has won and he's not here. We're going to have a new champion and we're going to have a new South Africa winner. And here are our main contenders who will all be in the first race of qualifying because of reverse grids. Maybe they're discussing tactics. Are you discussing tactics?
No, we're discussing, I don't know, we're discussing that we can all speak Swedish, but although it's 1 Norwegian, 1 Finn and 2 Swedish. But and also we just said they're putting a lot of water on the track now and kind of speak about all experiences of making huge mistakes when there is unpredictable water on the track.
But the good thing is the main people you need to be fighting against are all in the same race, so if you're hampered by the water, it'll happen to all of you at the same time.
Exactly. And it feels good for me to be in the fast race because nothing strange happens. So I've felt we've had great speed, and then it's easier to drive with these guys. I mean, I think it was us 4 and then small gap to the rest. So yeah, it feels like we are the fast 4 who will be on the track, and it will be definitely a tough qualifying to win. But you know, if you get in front of this race, it's the main guys here, I think.
Now, I know everyone's been asking you this, and you've been talking about it a lot in the media and in TV and press, but just give us a sense of what it means to you to be in such a tight battle and this close to potentially being world champion.
I don't know, I just do Q2. I do Q2 first, and then I'll tell you the answer after the final.
But it's good, isn't it? It's a great position to be in.
It's fun. I mean, ever since I was a kid, as a racing driver, you imagine being in this position. You imagine what it would be like. You imagine what it would be like to take the win in the last corner. You know, that's a dream scenario you see in front of you. So it's quite strange. I mean, it's a different perspective being in it. I'm so focused on exactly what I need to do. So it's a different experience than what I thought it would be. I'm more like Q2 is now. Q2 is all that exists. And Q2 is what I'm going to do.
Good luck, Timmy. Yeah, spoken like a true champion-elect. So time to, let's go over here, have a little word with brother Kevin. Kevin.
With me?
Yeah. We understood that you were talking about whether you could speak a mixture of Finnish, Swedish and Norwegian before, but now let's talk racing. What's the tactics in this? Because you're the fast guys all together in one race.
I think it's nice. I think we 4 have been the strongest this year, and now with this format this weekend, it's 4 cars in each race, and I think this is the big one of the weekend. So really nice. It was some strange calls in Q1 on the dashes for the track warning, so I had to be really careful. I backed off quite a lot to be safe, so we lost a bit of ground there. Otherwise, I think I could have been next to Timmy on the start grid. So I will try to make up for that now in Q2.
And do you work together? Will there come a point where you will be battling against Timmy, or will you always work together?
We will always work together no matter what. We have said all the year, even before the year, that no matter what, we do this together, and it doesn't matter who is the champion as long as one is.
Well, that's great to hear. Good luck, Kevin.
Thank you.
Okay, there we go. Let's just have a quick word with Timur Timosyanov. Timur, and you were very entertaining as always after Q1. Are you going to find some more speed in Q2?
Yeah, for sure. Like every run we are working on some setups. Now we have more time than before Q1 to analyze everything, but we will see. It's really difficult now. It can be the track will be different condition. The temperature is going really hot. The tarmac is starting to be like 70 degrees, something like this, and this is all over the temperature of our tires maybe sometimes. And then, yeah, that is. We have the same situation in Abu Dhabi. That's the same really hot tarmac and really difficult to find the proper balance for the tarmac. And this track is almost first sector, and the last sector it's only the tarmac sections. That's where you need to have the speed. But also the gravel section is now they put some anti-dust texture and something like this one. It will be tricky for the guys who are driving now on the Q1, like in round 1, for the leaders of this race. But we will see. I'm on the position when I can see everything. Like, same like I decided for Q1.
Okay, good luck, Timo. So that's a good analysis there of what's going to happen out the development of the track conditions. But I can hear engines are getting started. I can also see that Liam Doran's car has made it to the pre-grid, so he should be taking part in Q2, which is good news for Andreas Backrud. Now, to talk us through what happened in Q1 and to commentate for the rest of this World RX Q2 and RX2 Q2, let's join our commentators Andrew Coley and Dan Rook.
Thanks, Neil. Looking forward to getting this session underway. Session 1 went really well, didn't it, for all the front runners in the World Rallycross Championship. It is important that they're all in this race. We're looking out of our commentary position now. There's a lot of water down in the turning point for turn 3.
Yeah, they seem to have put down a lot more than they had before Q1 by the looks of things. We could actually see people a minute ago sweeping off standing water from the gravel section out of our window. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit trickier for our front runners, I think, for this first race.
Yeah, I think maybe this session the track is going to develop a little bit more than it did in Q1. If you missed Q1, take a look at this. So this was the first race of the day. Yannis Belmanis having to the clutch a quick kick. Niklas Groen, we weren't sure was going to be on the grid, but he made it, and Danny was on good form. Yeah, really good form, especially when he was the first person on track after they'd watered it. He got the start he needed, but then he just drove away from there. So this was Markland versus Belmanis. You'll know we've had a chat about the track markers and the penalties, and in fact they chose not to penalise Anton Markland, which I think is a great decision. So Markland not penalised because, of course, there was contact pushing him into it. People like Tommy Rustad up in the stewards' room doing a great job of making sure the penalties are only applied when the drivers are gaining an advantage from it not being pushed off. So good job by Tommy and the stewards. Timmy Hansen got the whole shot in front of his brother Kevin. Dan, you know, they chose to be in the same race in the draw yesterday, and it worked perfectly. Great tactics by them to make sure that there was one car in the race that was safe. Yeah, exactly, and with that safe car being there, allowed Timmy to go around the outside in turn 1 because he knew his brother was on the inside and wouldn't do anything silly. But Timmy went on and set a blistering time. Yeah, fantastic job by him. Andreas Backrud in a drag race down towards turn 1. Beaten to the first corner by Kaliakowski, but super smart and calm. That's what grabbed my attention. Is didn't panic he'd lost the start to Kaliakowski. Let Kaliakowski go deep. Thanks very much. I'll take the lead. Yeah, it was experience showing there for Andreas, I think. And I mean, if he wasn't in the situation he's in this weekend, I'm sure he would have probably tried to send it around the outside, but really got his head screwed on for that one. Fantastic. Gulan Shisha off the line. Christian Sabo on the inside. Sabo managed to get the whole shot up towards the first corner. Then Cyril Raymond gave him a little nudge up the rear. Cyril Raymond was one of the drivers who got a 5-second, well, the only driver who got a 5-second penalty in Q1. So he clipped 2 of the poles basically in the same race and was given a 5-second penalty. Timur Zyanov managed to edge Sabo. Sabo went for a joker on lap 3. Timur, jokering on lap 4, managed to out-strategise and outspeed him to the checkered flag. So Timmy Hansen at the top of the table with Andreas Backrud right behind him. It was 0.280 of a second, less than 3/10. Niklas Groen in that first race doing a fantastic job, proving that the track didn't completely develop through the session to the advantage of the later drivers. Kevin Hansen getting 4th. So all 3 of our World Championship protagonists are going to be in the first race of this session, because remember, it was reversed by the spinner. It is fastest first. So the last race, and potentially those with the most to gain, De Ridder, Farashkin, Cyril Raymond and Liam Doran. And Liam is going to be in that race. Is the track going to be significantly drier, and can he do something mega to drag himself back in? It's going to need to be, because as you can see, he's on 0 points at the bottom of the table at the moment. So Liam really needs it. We've seen it before. Remember, Nitish at Hollius rolled it in Q1, went out, and then in the next session it rained, dried up, and in fact he got the dry run in, didn't he, before it rained. So Liam could, if he won the session, if the track goes that way, it could work out well for him. Yeah, could definitely work out for him. The only difference between, of course, him and Nitish is he's a DNS, so 0 points, whereas Nitish did scored some points. Yeah, so he's 29 off the bottom of the group already. So he needs absolutely killer results from now on, Liam, to be able to get anywhere near the all-important top 12 and make it through to the semi-finals. But we have quite the race on our hands to open up Q2. Oh my goodness me, there's some nervous people around here. I know, we know Backrud's parents are here. Obviously, Timmy and Kevin's parents are here running the team. Imagine being the parent of one of these, or even 2 in the case of Kenneth and Susan, having to watch both your sons out there, you know, Andreas, his family as well, everybody making the long trip down from Northern Europe to the southern tip of Africa for this fantastic championship finale. What are we going to do if it ends up with all these guys in the final, on super close points? I might explode. Make sure you tune in. On the inside, Timmy Hansen then, the World Championship leader. Next to him, Andreas Backerud, who is in P2, of course, in the standings, 1 point off Timmy. Really would love to take a point off him during qualifying. Niklas Gronholm, super quick, was late into the car prior to the previous session. And he made it clear that was a little bit of a distraction. And then Kevin Hansen on the outside. We've seen Kevin pull around the outside here before. Can he do it again now? Hansen's on either side of the grid, so maybe not able to help each other out like they did last time. Here we go, Q2 race 1. Oh, it's a good start for them all, but Backward looks to have got the worst of the four. Anyway, half a car length drop back. Gronholm equal to Timmy Hansen. Kevin Hansen going to try and come around the outside. Oh, contact between Timmy and Gronholm there. Gronholm, those got the whole shot. Kevin and Timmy side by side. Oh, pops the wheel up over the curb. Backwards down in P4. Kevin Hansen slots into P2. Now, Dan, it's going to come down to Joker lap strategy. Or do they just follow each other? Because Gronholm's quick.
Yeah, exactly. Gronholm is quick, but also they're not fighting him for the World Championship. They can let Gronholm go. They just need to focus on the three drivers amongst them.
Yeah, Timmy's gone Joker straight away. Yeah, exactly. And that causes the mistake Backward made in France, trying to race Gronholm into turn 1. Semi or final, was it? Yeah, don't do it. It doesn't matter. Let him do it. Who cares if Gronholm wins? Focus on the World Championship, and I think they're all in that mode now.
Yeah, they have to be. If they start thinking about trying to win everything instead of being consistent and gathering the points, then they're going to just see the championship slip away.
How good are these guys? Look how wet the track is, and so far we haven't seen a mistake from anyone. Gronholm runs it right out. Look at the dirt across the front of Backward's car. Gives you a good idea. Now, is Backward going to go into the Joker lap this time? So watch for Backward. Does he respond to Timmy and go on this lap, or does he wait another lap? He waits. So Backward is waiting for Timmy. Timmy's got a target in front of him, something to chase down.
Yeah, Timmy has got that person to chase, although, he's a class act when he's out on his own. But it's always a bit of an advantage to have somebody to try and close the gap down to. It's a target in front of you. The red mist descends, and you know that you need to try and catch that person.
Particularly with braking points in slippery conditions too, isn't it? Watch the car in front. Okay, you can get sucked into a bad braking point yourself, but they give you a good indicator of where the grip levels are.
Yeah, exactly. And well, of course, Andreas has got that as well with Kevin in front of him. Niklas is the one here driving the most blind of everyone.
1.5 seconds ahead. He doesn't need anyone to chase, does he? Just chasing the clock. So can Gronholm get that magic win here? We know he's got one from earlier in the season, but nobody counts a win in the stewards' room as a proper win, and Gronholm will be looking to take a proper one here. So looking at the gaps, it was 2.7 to 4.5, so it was 1.8 between Backerud and Hansen before. But now at 4.3, it's come down to 1.6, so back up to 4.4 is super close between Backerud and Timmy Hansen at the back of this pack, and of course only Timmy has jokered early in the race. What's Gronholm got? 4.4, surely that's enough. We haven't really looked at the Joker Delta so far at all.
No, but it's got to be enough, hasn't it? It's a tarmac Joker majoritively as well, and they've not watered the tarmac.
Yeah, 3.0 is what our calculations are telling us from the timing information. All in on the last lap. Timmy Hansen on the inside, Niklas Gronholm sideways on the way in. Kevin Hansen isn't going to back Andreas Backerud up. Can Backerud beat Timmy Hansen on the run down to the checkered flag? Gronholm's going to take it, but he can't. So Gronholm takes it, almost touches the tyres on the inside. That is a brilliant drive by Niklas Gronholm. Kevin Hansen, Timmy Hansen, and Andreas Backerud cross the line in that order. So Kevin turning the order on its head. Last time it was Timmy fastest from Backerud, Gronholm and Hansen. This time it's Gronholm from Kevin. So the guys who are P3 and P4 are P1 and P2 in Q2. Timmy Hansen and Backerud P1 and P2. We think Gronholm might have nudged a track marker, but if he did, it'll just be a warning, remember, for the first touch of a track marker. So he should be okay with that. 2:54.665 is 2 seconds slower than Timmy went in the first session, but it's only about 4/10 slower than Niklas went in the first session. So it suggests that track conditions aren't too different, but it's close to 30 degrees here, and the track is going to dry. So off the line, Andreas got a good reaction time, but somehow Danny didn't get the start, did he there?
Yeah, I mean, that could probably be down to something like gear shifts or something like that, just not quite getting the timing perfect as other people around him would have done. So not quite changing at the right point, meaning he's not fully on the power band.
Wheel spin maybe as well. I mean, RPM is crucial, is it? He didn't bog, did he? So we know he wasn't too low.
He could have just been slightly too high and had a little bit, tiny bit too much wheel spin compared to everybody else.
So there's Gronom running wide, tapping that track marker. I'm not sure if that one counts or not because it hasn't got a red tape on the top of it. So you can see the ones around the inside that got red tape around them. Those are the ones that the drivers have to watch out for. So maybe the one on the top of the jump won't count because it's just telling the drivers where the road's going. Of course, it's a blind crest. But great job by Niklas Gronom in the first race of Q2. He takes the checker flag and sets the fastest time so far.
Niklas, I guess there's no more problems with your gears then. That was really impressive.
Yeah, once again, good start. And yeah, I feel like I made quite a lot of mistakes, but it seems like they didn't have an easy time either behind me. So yeah, nice to get out with a win. Yeah, sad that we are not in the championship fight with these guys, but at least it's nice to operate, you know, below the radar in this race and you know, try to win it here in South Africa. So yeah, it's going well.
Thank you, Keita.
Thanks.
I'm gutted for Gronom. I would have absolutely loved. Can you imagine if we came here with 4 drivers and it's a real actually I think the slight fear is if he'd scored like Weeman had scored, Dan, you were doing the maths the other day, and potentially to come here with a massive lead.
Yeah, so if Gronom hadn't have missed out on the events he did, yeah, he would have been on top of the table.
Yeah, exactly. So he certainly would have been in the mix. You know, you can never say that you would have got the results Weeman would have got. You know, it would have been a different weekend with a different driver in the car, but he's right in the mix this weekend. Okay, race 2 on the line. Here we go. Timo Scheider next to Timur Timozyanov, Christian Sabo and Anton Markland. So 4 different teams in this one. Timozyanov will of course have made note of Gronom's performance in that last race, 41.4. So what was Gronom only? He was actually only 3/10 off the fastest lap time from Q1, wasn't he? So that is impressive. Potentially not on every lap this time. Look at that view. But look at this view. Great start by Timur Timozyanov. Timo Scheider on the inside. Little got a good one, but he loses out on the gear shift. Sabo up around the outside. Whole shot over Timur. Markland trying to go around the outside. Timo Scheider up the inside. Somehow Timozyanov holds on. Sabo's gone way too deep on the brake. Going to drop down to P4. Through that left-hander in the dirt and the mud and over the crest. It's Timozyanov that leads from Scheider.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened with Szabo there. Maybe he got muscled out a bit by Scheider, but he seemed to be on his way to Joburg in the entrance to turn 2. So yeah, he's going to want to renegotiate his braking point for that one.
Timozyanov out front there, absolutely monster in the curve in that chicane, super close to the markers, full of confidence. Let's see him on the brakes here through the tarmac section. Chucks the car up again. He's using all the track, isn't he? We'll have to check his lap times as the race goes on, see if we can get close to what Gronom was doing. Timo Scheider was fast in free practice as well, Dan. He's looking good this weekend. Yeah, looking really good. I think he was second to Timmy, wasn't he, in free practice, and not quite able to string it together for... well, I say that, he was P5 in Q1. Yeah. Yeah, of course, now he's behind Timozyanov, but he is right on the bumper, so maybe he could pressure Timozyanov into an error here. Timozyanov with a nice early rotation on the gas early too. Scheider doesn't lose out too much, maybe a car and a half length. Behind, look, Anton Markland has joking is within 6/10 of Sabo, but unless Sabo goes this time, that tactic doesn't look like it's going to work out. Markland, what's his pace? Yeah, 41.2. So Markland, that's the fastest lap of the session, isn't it? Yeah, that's 2 tenths, well, just under 2 tenths on Niklas Gronom's fastest lap time of the session. So Markland is going to be crying for Szabo to go into the joke lap now. Timozyanov so aggressive through that section, the opposite of what Scheider's doing. Where's Szabo going to go? And he stays out. That's Markland's plan. He's gone then. So Anton Markland, who is very capable of quick lap times, unfortunately hampered by Szabo in front of him. Not massively, Dan, but you know, if you're capable of a 41.2, you want to bang in 41.2s. You don't want to be following someone around at all.
Well, yeah, we'll see as he comes across the line now. Look at his lap time difference from the lap previous, a 41.5. So he's losing 3 tenths potentially behind Szabo here, which is what he's going to need if he wants to try and win the session.
And the other guys have gone. To be fair to Szabo, he went 4 tenths quicker on that lap than he'd gone on the previous one, whereas Timozyanov and Scheider have gone a 10th quicker each. So part of that is track familiarity, Dan, and part of it potentially is track development. So, you know, it could go the way of the guys in the later race. On the inside, Anton Markland sends it really early. Huge plume of dust up towards the grandstands. Timozyanov, though, coming around the outside. 2:54.665, super close merge. Scheider up the inside of Markland. Pushes Markland all the way wide. Timo holds on. Timozyanov going to take it. Is it quick enough? No. 2:55.0, though. Only 4 tenths of a second, under 4 tenths. And that's going to see him go P2. So it's a 1-2 for GRX at the minute with Gronholm and Timozyanov. Scheider and Markland so close. 4 tenths at the line, but they were side by side coming into that last braking zone. Timozyanov takes it with a 2:55.0. Scheider with that fairly defensive driving on the run down to the chicane. Fair enough, and he held Markland off. It was a good move. Szabo got quicker during that one. Backerud down in 8th. So, Andreas, look at the difference between the top and the bottom of this table. It's 54.6 down to 57.6. 3 seconds in it, but the difference is 8 places. But Timmy Hansen, Kevin Hansen, look, 5th and 6th as well. So, in terms of championship, yeah, they're there, but they're together. What's going to happen if we see these next 2 races going quicker? Race 2 at Q2, a brilliant start by Timozyanov up towards turn 1, Dan. Yeah, okay, Anton tried the outside. Scheider had a cheeky look up the inside, but the Russian held on.
Yeah, so really good start from Timozyanov. I think those Hyundais are so strong in a straight line, aren't they? He just managed to out-drag Scheider all the way down to turn 1.
It's an absolute weapon, isn't it? I have to say, there's a bit of me that wishes the Polos were here to see what the pace is. I know we can look back at last year's lap times, but you can't really do that at Rallycross because you're never sure about track watering and conditions and all the rest of it. And I don't know, I think it would have been closer this year. I'm sure Johan's watching. I know he made a post, didn't he, about how having been the world champion for another 2 or 3 days. So, Johan, if you are watching, yeah, I know you've sent the big trophy back, mate. Hopefully we'll see you back at some point to try and win it again. On this occasion, it's Timozyanov who picked up the prize. It was only a checkered flag, but it was also P2 in the session. Great job for him. It's a 1-2 for GRX.
Timo, the track does seem to develop, and you were under a lot of pressure from Timo then, but a great win.
Yeah, that was a great win. Actually, I'm under pressure, my teammate. He's been faster than me for a few tenths of the seconds, but I think that was the track is doing a little bit better on the track condition. But that, I think, is still something on the drivable, like on driving my style. I have been struggling with the tarmac first corner, but the rest is okay. We are trying to fight as good as possible, but I think in some places we need to think for tomorrow where we can be faster.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, who's that there then? Is that, well, looks like, who were the baddies in start of Doctor Who?
No idea.
Cylons, I think. Is it Cylons? No, that's Battlestar Galactica, isn't it? What's that there? Come on, Richie, producer in my ears.
It looks like a really hot bloke. He must be sweating his...
It could be a very good-looking bloke, to be fair. I mean... So our producer says he thinks it's Johan. So Johan couldn't resist.
Too short, I think.
It is too short to be Johan, yeah. If it was Johan, it'd be a really big robot. Come on, let me know on social media if you've watched Doctor Who and you know the ones I mean. I don't like Doctor Who myself, but I know it looks like a baddie out of that. I'm sure Cyberman, apparently, I don't know. I think it's a robot. It's a robot to do with an oil company. Either way, it's not the job for today, I promise you. Okay, here we go then. Q2, race 3 on the line. Gulan Shisharit on the inside, then it's Kaliakowski, Balmanis and Bennett. So the 2 start cars in the middle of the grid. We know they're strong off the start. Shisharit's had better starts recently too. It's 50, well not 50-50, that's maybe not fair. GTK, they either get it bang on the money. We know that car is quite hard to start because of the brake layout on it. But when they get it right, it is a bit of a rocket off the line. So let's see. Hopefully Shisharit gets it right this time. Bennett's fast too. That is some noise, isn't it? Off the lights, a disaster for Shishri, Kaliakowski and Baumanis with a great start. Bennett dropping back just slightly from them. Kaliakowski gets the whole drop. Baumanis looking to do what Bakura did. Kaliakowski's wise to it this time, though. Doesn't let the car run deep. It's a Stard 1-2 into turn 2.
Yeah, so Stard have got the control of this race now, haven't they? The question is, do they split the strategy and put Baumanis in now? Because arguably, I think it's fair to say he is slightly faster than Kaliakowski's. Kaliakowski's run a bit wide there.
Either that, you sacrifice Kaliakowski and tell him to go, but neither of them do. Now Bennett's gone, that might open up an opportunity for them as well, but of course Shishri is off the back of the pack too, and he hasn't. Joker Baumanis with the nudge on the back of Kaliakowski, but no way through just yet.
No way at all, and he's definitely going to have to find something, isn't he? Because he's definitely showing more pace here.
You can see there's a certain confidence, Dan, that comes with time in the car, about the way he's moving the car around. And yes, we've already spoken about how it's easier to follow, but just look at you know what I mean about the confidence of the car. You can read the body language of the car behind the Baumanis. He's on it. Look at the exit speed here. Look at this. Great exit over the jump. Baumanis closed him down by car length. He's right outside our window there. It's easy for us to see. But again, he's going to look left and right. Surely they send him now. Does he go, Joker? He doesn't.
I think, for me, I think Stard needs to be putting Kaliakowski in, otherwise Baumanis is running the risk of being caught behind Ollie Bennett.
Thing is, Kaliakowski's a, in theory, a paying customer too, if you want to look at it that way. It's hard, isn't it? If Baumanis was in the fight for the championship. Oh, Baumanis looks up the inside. Can't make it work this time. But they kind of can't, Dan, can they? Because if they were full-time teammates, you could do it. So you go, look, Baumanis has had the better year, he's going to do it. But Kaliakowski's only had a few outings, and so it's a tricky one for the team. Yeah, very hard, and I'm glad I'm not the one who's making that decision. Yeah, on the old radio, Baumanis is faster. Do you understand? Multi 21, whatever it was. So this time then Baumanis goes Joker, looking to try and get back out in front of Bennett, who was 3.2 off the back of him. Baumanis has extra Joker speed on the exit and will easily come out in front. Now it's about chasing Kaliakowski on this lap. I reckon Baumanis can do this. Yeah, 100%. I want to watch his lap time. He's set a 41.8, but I think he's got the potential for a lot faster than that. Yeah, 2 41.8s in a row, then a 44 for the Joker. Kaliakowski will know that he's gone. His mirrors of not full of green. 2:54.665 Gronholm's time. We think the track's developing, but I'd say it's quite hard to know. These guys aren't doing the 41s that we saw before. Yeah, we are talking about the world's best drivers going out on the slightly slipperier track. But Dan, we did also talk about how it might be developing the other way. So here we go. Kaliakowski's got extra exit speed. Baumanis surely will move across, or does he know he's clear? He knows he's clear. Yanis Baumanis edges it in that last lap. Good work by the start team. Baumanis takes it. 2:56.7. So they are faster than Kevin Hansen is faster. Well, let me see. Yeah, I'm just looking at it. So yeah, they're going to slot in, aren't they, between Kevin and Timmy? Fascinating stuff. So the track was slower then, definitely wasn't. Not for Gronholm. Like, you know what I mean, don't you? How's he done that? Yeah, I mean, he's just a genius in driving in unpredictable conditions, I think. Well, he is, isn't he? Like, Gronholm's made such huge steps, such massive progress. I can't,
60 double bar spin into a flare. Final thoughts for Vargas. He spins around, ice pick on the sub. And that is time with the can't step through for Varga. Wow, so Varga going for that 900. We've seen at FIA World Series in the past, he does have variations in the 9, but let's take a look at some of the highlights as the bars go around 2 times, and here's that.
What he said to Neil in the interview, oh, I'm sorry I'm not in the championship fight. So am I. Yeah. Yanis Baumanis takes it from his teammate Jiri Kaliakowski. Ollie Bennett gets 3rd, and Gulan Shishri in 4th after a bad start. Baumanis manages 6th, 7th. Timmy Hansen, look, and Andreas Bakura.
Spin, flare, bar spin, downside 360 tail whip. All of our riders are just getting right in that cherry spot by the coping. You see he does a tuck as he winds up getting the style on the...
Hansen done well to be in 5th here. This is, remember, he's going to spread the drivers out again in Q3. But it's going to be based on, of course, the accumulation of Q1 and Q2. So we'll have to see what happens with them. Bennett and Shishri look down in 11th and 12th place.
900, but just didn't get things around enough. There is the flip. Mike Varga is another one of the guys who sports a really cool backyard ramp setup. He's got his own custom build where it's definitely a little bit similar to the course.
Still to come. So Dan, it really interesting for me. Like we can still see it's kind of greasy. There's almost a dry line, but the track is changing. Okay, we're hearing Nils with Janis Belmanis. Let's head down, see Neil.
Janis, that's a good race win, but it looks like Jari was
out here, so he looks extremely comfortable. And that is the only way that you're able to throw down a 900, which was first done on a vert ramp. And Varga.
Quite a lot, but obviously good fight. I tried to be patient, I would say, but I didn't hear on radio to go in the Joker 1 lap earlier, so obviously I don't know what's happening on the rear, but yeah, I managed to overtake him by good gap in 1 lap, so yeah, finally 1 lap was really good, but other ones, yeah, struggling a lot, and he kept me up quite too long, but yeah, he's a second time in this car, so good job by him.
And do you think the track has developed? Would it have been quicker if you'd had a clean lap?
Yeah, I think definitely. As you saw already, the guys who were the first ones, the fastest was the first, and they had really tricky conditions, and now I was able even to push on the gravel, but they was really struggling to get the traction, so definitely it's getting better, and I think I am P6 now, as I heard on the radio. Still 4 more cars, and I think the conditions will be better for them.
Thank you, though.
Thank you.
Race 3 of Q2. Good start by both the start guys. Not so much for Gulan Schiestrit. And Schiestrit, unfortunately, after the race as well, a 5-second penalty for hitting 2 track markers in the same race.
Yeah, so we've just seen that come up on our timing screens, and just to, you know, rub a bit of salt in the wound of missing the start, you then got another 5 seconds on your time.
But yeah, kind of irrelevant, really. No. But not ideal for Guyan. It's a shame, really, because we know that McGann's been super quick recently, but he'll try and fight back in the next couple of sessions. Belmanis behind Kaliakowski. Tricky, as we said, for the team, because they're not both, well, Belmanis is a full-timer. They can't just go move over your teammate, because Kaliakowski wants the best result possible for him and his sponsors here this weekend. But as Belmanis said, look, it was a fair fight, I think, and I got it done, and he did. So Janis Belmanis edges it from Kaliakowski. See there the wind on the umbrella. I think he's doing ice creams. I fancy an ice cream. Do you want an ice cream after this?
Yeah, might have an ice cream. It's definitely hot enough, isn't it?
What would you have?
I don't know what selection of ice creams they have over here. I mean, it's probably no different to a normal ice cream. I say normal, I mean a UK. Would
you go for a lolly or an ice cream?
It's got to be an ice cream.
You think?
Yeah.
I'd like a Magnum, white Magnum probably. Ooh. Choice.
I mean, other
ice creams are available. I don't know what the rules are. I've probably just been fired for that, but I mean, you know. Right, come on, final race of the session. Let's get this done. Q2 race 4. Guillaume de Ridder, Matvey Farashkin, Cyril Raymond, and Liam Doran. Now, Liam here needs a fantastic result, because he's got a 0 from Q1, and the only thing that is going to save his chances of making the semis, the only thing that he could do to potentially help his teammate Andreas Backerud, is to get out there and get as close to the front of this session as he can to try and win the session. We know the car's capable of lap times. We know Liam is a hell of a peddler. First job, though, is he needs to try and win the start. He hasn't won the start. It's a dreadful start for Liam Doran. He goes backwards, of course, brand new engine, or maybe a used engine in that car, and Doran is straight out the back door. So it's de Ridder and Cyril Raymond side by side like their RX2 days. De Ridder manages to get into the whole shot, and Cyril Raymond gets a little bit of clatter there in the background from Farashkin and drops off the back of the pack. Liam Doran is in the mix in the background. He's just coming over the jump now, but he doesn't look to me to be on full power, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded a bit funny off the start there, and then you can see he's just kind of half crawling around. Of course, he's not fully crawling, he's not fully dropped off, but something's really not right with the car there.
He's going Joker straight away, so he's either going to pull into the paddock. Watch Doran at the bottom of your screen here if he goes straight on and continues, and he continues good. So he's going to try and get himself a finish. If he gets lapped, it's a DNF, but for me, he's got enough pace not to get lapped.
Yeah, he shouldn't be lapped, because there's only 4 laps. I mean, if it was a 6-lap semi or something like that, but he may have done, but he's not going to at this rate.
10 seconds in the first lap. It's a 41-second lap, absolutely flat out, but that doesn't include a Joker. So I think Doran is safe as long as he manages to maintain a similar sort of pace. So they're clinging on to some hope of him making it through, but unless there's a weather miracle tomorrow or a disaster, I don't think Doran's going to make the semis, down. It's a real shame.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it either, especially with him limping around. I guess the only thing he's going to be going for now is whether he can beat Shisha at his time, because Shisha got a 5-second penalty.
Farashkin's getting a penalty for that all day long. So Farashkin's just completely cut the corner on the exit, and I'm afraid that's not allowed. So if he doesn't get a penalty for that, Dan, I'll be staggered.
Yeah, I think maybe he's just missing his autocross days and wanted to get back on the grass.
A bit of grass tracking Farashkin out wide. So De Ridder leads this one. Raymond has gone Joker earlier. So is Guillaume De Ridder going to respond to Cyril Raymond's Joker? I'd go now, because 4.7 looks like enough to me. So he goes into the Joker lap. So De Ridder goes in. And there's another lap to go after this. So Guillaume De Ridder trying to beat his teammate Cyril Raymond. Come on, Guillaume, round the right-hander, keeps it tight. He's patient on through. He's easily done it, Dan. That's a great drive. Yeah, really good job by De Ridder out there. And maybe his luck is finally turning around a little bit, although it seems every time we say that, something does happen to him. Let's not say it.
Sorry, Guillaume, if it does happen. I will not say it again. Let's not say it. Come on, De Ridder. I want to see De Ridder in the semis. I'd love to see him in the final at the end of a season. Of course, it's silly season now. You know, who's got the budget for next year? Who's going to come back next year? Who's going to be the world champion? What team will they be with? You know, it's just so hard to tell. We've ended up with a brilliant entry this year, despite the manufacturer teams disappearing. For me, this has been one of the very best, if not the best season of World Rallycross ever. Let us know at home if you've enjoyed the year or not, and who your money's on. De Ridder, 2.1 seconds in the lead, aiming to get the 2:54.6. Could De Ridder set the fastest time? In towards the left and the right. Chasing that line down, Guillaume De Ridder on the gas, can he get it? Oh, not quite, 2:55.5, so De Ridder goes third. That's got to be one of his best, if not his best session of the year. Guillaume De Ridder goes third, just 0.9 of a second off the back of Gronholm. So only Gronholm and Timosyanov for GRX have beaten Guillaume De Ridder. That is a great drive, well done. Fantastic. Epic job. Yeah, really, you know, we know he's made the most of the track conditions, but we also know, and GCK would admit this, the Clio isn't on the same level as those other cars. De Ridder and Raymond, you know, they're coming this year to learn supercar at this level. And that, you know, it's a bit of redemption for Guillaume, because Dan, you know him really well from your 2 days. A, he's a good driver, but B, he's a really nice guy as well. Yeah, really, really nice. And, you know, he's one of the guys who will be the first to come over to talk to you in the paddock sort of thing all day long. Guillaume De Ridder takes this one from Cyril Raymond. Matvey Farashkin is third. Liam Doran does manage to get round without being lapped, so gets to finish but drops to the bottom of the table. Look at that though, De Ridder slots into third place. Brilliant performance by the Belgian. Timmy Hansen's in 9th. Look, Andreas Backert is in 12th. Liam Doran gets another 16th, so that's 2 P16s, one of which is a 0 for a DNS. So tough luck for Liam Doran, I'm afraid, here in South Africa. So off the line, look, good start by Cyril Raymond and Guillaume De Ridder, to be fair. Out-dragging Farashkin down towards turn 1. But De Ridder on the inside here managed to hold off Cyril. I didn't see if... OK, of course, I'd forgotten this. I'd forgotten the incident with Cyril and Farashkin. That's why Cyril was so far off the back of him, but still can't take it away from Guillaume. He got it done in turn 1, Dan. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, just looking at Cyril's lap times, he was only a tenth a lap roughly quicker than... oh, he's been disqualified. Cyril's been disqualified. So Cyril Raymond has clipped a third track marker and has been DQ'd from the session. So I still think that's harsh, but those are the rules. Drivers are told it prior to the session starting. I'm waiting to see whether or not it's going to be a penalty for Farashkin as well. But Cyril Raymond DQ'd from the session. He's hit 3. Now, what I don't know is what happens if he hits any more.
Guillaume, incredible. You deserve a really good result, and that was a great race.
It was an awesome race. I mean, it feels really good, to be honest. We had quite bad luck this season all through the year, so to be finally once this year on top of the timetable, it feels really good. I think we've been advantaged by the track condition, obviously, but still I've done no mistake in my race. Take the lead in the first corner and keep it through the whole race. So I mean that's great feeling.
Now, how tricky are the track markers? Because we're hearing that Cyril Raymond has been disqualified.
Yeah, it's really tricky with track markers because you never know if you touch one of them. Because obviously inside the cars, they are quite low. So they are sometimes out of your visibility, you know. So it's really hard to know if you touch them or not. So unfortunately, you have to take a bit of margin.
Well done though, chapeau.
Thank you.
Well, De Ridder saying it there, you have to take a bit of a margin. That's what he's done, and that's what the top guys have managed to do as well. Talking of the top guys, Here are the all-important standings after Q2. It's Niklas Gron. Hansen holds on to P2. Not so good in Q2, but that bonus that you get for winning a session, the 50 points compared to 45 and 42 for P2 and P3, and then incrementally down, Hansen holds on to P2, so massive advantage for him on day one. Timozyanov is P3, Timo Scheider is P4, birthday boy tomorrow. So both the Hyundais up in the top 4. Kevin Hansen is 5th, Andreas Backer is 6th. So this is by no means over. But bear in mind, if it finished as it is now, Timmy Hansen would extend his lead over both his brother and particularly Andreas Backer, but still only by a couple of points. Anton Mark and Guillaume de Ridder is up in 8th place. Sabo is 9th, Bauman is 10th. Jiri Kaliakowski, after being on fire this morning in free practice, and I don't mean in terms of lap times, I mean in terms of fire, is in 11th place. Guilain Chicheret is in 12th, and that's after Guilain's disaster. So Bennett, Farashkin, Liam Doran and Cyril Raymond. Look at Cyril and Liam right at the back of the pack. So they both had a 29 and a 0. So, say DQs there for Cyril Raymond and Liam Doran, sitting them right at the bottom of the pack, and you've got to beware of that. Even for the top drivers, we've got 2 sessions to go. They can't be, they can't be touching those track markers. So, makes me very nervous. I'm sure it makes them more nervous. de Ridder said you've got to take a margin. This is what's making me more nervous, though. It's the final spinner of doom of the year. Is it going to be fastest first or slowest first tomorrow? What are we going to get? Are we going to get the traditional slowest first, or is it going to be fastest first? It's slowest first for Q3, so slowest first tomorrow means our fastest drivers will go at the end of the session. But what's interesting is what those grids are going to be. I'm going to have to look at the timing screen to do this, because of course the grid for Q3 is formed from the result of Q2, which is a little bit topsy-turvy thanks to the fact the track was wet when we started. So I can only see the top 8. Okay, so it's going to be Gronholm, Timozyanov, de Ridder and Scheider in the last race. Then Mark and Kevin Hansen, Baumanis and Kaliakowski will be in race 3. Timmy Hansen will be in with Cyril Raymond, Christian Sabo and Andreas Backerud. So Hansen and Backerud will go together. And then you've got Bennett, Chicheret, Farashkin and Doran will be in race 1. So actually Timmy and Andreas are going to be in an early race, Dan. If they wet the track again, with slowest going first, it could be advantage Kevin. He could make up some points. So for me, Backerud's the one there who's got the biggest disadvantage, because Timmy's up in P2 and Kevin might get a dry track. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, Andreas is really going to have to hope he can get himself some sleep tonight. I think, he's going to be really feeling the pressure now, especially that Timmy having that advantage overnight. Yeah. So, I hope Andreas is able to actually get some shut-eye and not think about it too much.
It's got to go full reset, though. You look at Timmy and the disaster of day one in Latvia. This is the key to it, is to go full reset and to try and come back tomorrow and just get the job done in emphatic style, despite the track conditions. Timmy could have said the same thing. I'm not in a great race tomorrow after I've gone off. He's got to get stuck in and get it done. Maybe the track conditions won't develop that much.
Yeah, I mean, potentially, of course, we did see it get faster here now, but we're later on in the day to what we will be tomorrow morning, so True. It might not dry out as quick if they water
not be as hot.
It.
Yeah.
So there is also that factor.
So we agree, advantage Timmy Hansen?
Yes.
Okay, so there we go. That's what we think about it. What do you think about it at home? Give us a shout on social media, by all means. We'd love to know your thoughts. Day one's done. We've got 2 qualifying sessions, semi-finals and finals to go. You know what the championship standings are. You've seen the action today. You've seen the way the track developed. Give us a shout on any of the social media channels, the official channel, me, Dan. We'd love to know what your thoughts are on tomorrow. Do you think Backerud can bounce back? He's not far away. It's not a disaster of a day. You take that as a day one any other day of the year. Kevin Hansen, is he going to have a great run tomorrow morning? It's all to play for. We've got a World Championship to settle, as you know, so exciting stuff. Now, we're not done, of course, because we've got RX2 coming up. What we've got down... Oh, there you go, down the bottom of your screens. Little glance down there. So 10 a.m. tomorrow for Q3 Live. So it's 0800 in the UK or 0900 in Central European time. So Central European time, 9 a.m. It's a little bit early for a Sunday, Dan.
Yeah, I know.
Earlier for us, we're 2 hours ahead here, so we're getting. I hope you feel for us. When we get up at 7, it feels like 5, and we're a bit tired.
It's nothing to do with the beers the night before.
No, we didn't stay up late on it. No, we're having a great time down here, I have to say. We're soaking up a tiny bit of summer before we head back to the misery and the rain. So have a look down bottom right of your screen there, or sort of mid-right of your screen. Jesse Kallio, who you remember had a shocker and is in the championship fight, is having a shocker again. There are people swarming around that car. I'm assuming trying to get it working, and I don't know if we're waiting for him or if we're waiting for track. Well, apparently, interesting. Apparently, we're told that they're waiting for that, so that's interesting because normally we don't wait.
Maybe they thought we could fill a bit more time talking about our evening habits.
Yeah. Kallio is not going to make it. That is an absolute disaster. So Jesse Kallio isn't going to make the start. Ollie Eriksson in the middle of your screen now, walking around to the other side of the car. Is he going to go and talk to Kallio? I think he is, because Kallio is his championship rival. And basically, this is going to put him out. And at that point, Dan, really, we won't, because the points aren't given yet. But this is going to make Ollie Eriksson RX2 champion. It's going to mean that tomorrow he can compete with a big smile on his face and just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's given that nothing happens to Ollie. Of course, he could have a disaster now and, you know, the car not work for him. And they could fix Kallio overnight.
If Kallio doesn't make it, and bearing in mind at the minute it's looking like he won't, Kallio is on 142. Gunderson is on 128. He's just 14 points back. And on 119 is Fraser McConnell. So what's that? 129, 139, 23 points. So there's 30 up for grabs. So I think McConnell is a bit of a stretch, but Gunderson could definitely get him. So Leigh Michaela on the right-hand side of your screen, Anders Midtschlag in the middle. And we have our new driver, Annette Glev. And you can let me know, Niklas and Enklev, let me know if I'm saying that right or wrong. More than happy. You guys are very good to us at home, letting us know when we're getting names wrong. We're more than happy to be corrected. All three over the jump, nice and smooth. Leigh Michaela's lost out, drops down to P3. So Annette Glev on the debut, leading.
I think Annette Glev's done a lot of stuff in Rally X Nordic this year. I think I remember seeing him out there, so he has been having a bit of seat time this year, and but yeah, it's good that he's managed to decided to make the trip down to South Africa.
Sometimes, Dan, you get a bit of a deal, don't you, on a last round. So if the car's coming down here anyway, or if there's a space in a container for another car, you can sometimes get a bit of a deal from the team because they'd rather run two cars than one, or, you know, so he's maybe managed to get himself a little bit of a deal here, and it's always a good way. Yeah, you said he's been out in Rally X Nordic, but you want to test yourself against the best in the world. So you come here and do the last round and go, where do I want to be next year?
Yeah, it is a good way to test and see if you're ready for that next step up to the World Championship level. And yeah, it's great that for him that he's managed to find that seat and get out.
What was your first RX2 event? I'm trying to think.
I did.
Because you missed the prize drive, didn't you, with MSA? I was thinking that was it, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Was it Onslow Cole with that? And you missed that.
No, but
by one, you were second, weren't you? I think in the shootout.
I think, yeah, second in the lap times.
Yeah.
But it was based on interview process as well, and because Chris Ingram actually was the quickest in the lap times.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was second to Chris, and I think Tom Onslow was third, and then.
Yeah, so a bunch of you up front, and then they judged it on the various skills. The drive went to Tommy, came to Turkey. I remember he did well, got a podium there. So when was your first race? Did you?
I had a one-off drive. Andreas Eriksson was very generous to me and let me have a go in 2016 in Lydden. Was my first.
And how did it go? Did the big step up? It was a weird one for you because you were British Supercar champion at the time, so it was kind of not a step up in terms of machinery, but very much a step up, I think, in terms of depth of competitors.
Yeah, it was midway through my season in the supercars in the UK.
Okay.
So I think I finished like 7th. I didn't make the final, but I'd only driven the car down on like a straight line test at a Ford Mount True testing facility.
Yeah.
Down the road. So I'd never driven the car. So I you know, that's my debut in it, but I'd say for my proper competitive debut would have been at the start of the season in 2017.
Well, Annette Glev done a good job here, moving into full-on international RX2. Up towards the last corner ahead of Midtschlag. Going to take the checker flag. There he goes. Time is 3:06.5. Now, in this first session, that would have been enough for P7. So yeah, P7 in Q1. What's it going to be in Q2? There's the result, and yes, Calio with a DNS. So what's he got? A DNF and a DNS. The DNS is a disaster, Dan, because that's the 0. The DNF is a 20. What was it? No,
he got 30 points.
Yeah. Well, okay. Shocker then for Calio. So it's about whether or not Gunderson and McConnell can gather enough points. But for McConnell to move up into that position, he's going to have to needs to make 23 points. Yeah, he's going to have an absolutely brilliant weekend. Michalak looked to have edged it at the start, but Aniklev didn't give up down towards turn 1 and managed to slot through on the brakes.
Yeah, so just a bit brave there on the brakes, but of course with Michalak on his outside, he's able to lean a bit deeper on the pedal, because you know that you've got a driver on your outside that you could lean onto in case you overshot the corner.
Tidily done, not too much in the way of pressure during the course of the race. Lane Michaela look in front of Michalak, so I wonder if that hampered it slightly with Michalak's strategy, maybe coming out behind. But Aniklev doing a good job to take this one ahead of Anders Michalak.
Niklas, that's very impressive. It looks like you're enjoying racing here in Cape Town.
Yes, it's my first time here, so I'm really happy to do this. They have trouble with the Kallio's car in paddock, and I go for P5 in the second, so I'm happy to stay in P1 and do this in Q. I'm really happy. It's fantastic.
Well done. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy chap. Good to see as well. You can't beat driving a rallycross car, and going down to Cape Town to drive was pretty fun as well. It's pretty good fun to come down here and commentate it, to be honest.
I think it's just fun to be anywhere and commentate, to be honest.
It is, yeah, it's good. We're well aware. We're very lucky boys. Last event of a long season for me and Dan in various different championships. And yeah, it's good to be down here in the sunshine. Olofsson, Volders, Grierson and Nasha off the line. Olofsson versus Grierson, is it? Oh no, in between them, Volders has managed to get there too. Nasha cuts across the door of Grierson. Grierson goes inside. Grierson up from P4 to P2, is he? Volders runs deep. I think Grierson might get in there. A little nudge from the rear potentially, but it's Olofsson finally who gets the whole shot.
Yeah, Olofsson needs to be a little bit careful here. He's already got a track markers warning, so he's going to have that in the back of his mind, but it is good for him to be out in front, of course. Maximum visibility. It means he'll be able to see the bollards coming, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point. What do you do in the dust when you're not sure? Should I, oh, I'm offline. You hear the noise and you know.
Yeah, you can. It's definitely a big thud in the car when you hit one of those things. Although they are quite floppy, it's still, there's no soundproofing in these things.
There's a fair old whack, yeah, especially when you hit one at 70, 80 miles an hour. Grierson, who is in P2 at the moment, had a best finish of 3rd place in the UK. Been in the final in Spain, got 5th, 6th in Sweden, 5th in France. Out front, Simon Olofsson is in P8 in the standings. Semi-finals at the first 5 events. Spain, Belgium, missing out just by a place, in fact, in Norway and Belgium. UK 5th, Sweden 5th, and Spain, that was in the semis. So yeah, looking at Olofsson, I don't think has made the final this year, no. So Olofsson will be hoping for a final, and with a performance like this, might get it. Bear in mind, there's only the 13 cars here, because it's a flyaway course, and also, Dan, people do tend to drop out, so Albert Rivera, for instance, has chosen not to make the journey down here, which is fair enough. He's doing the Dakar, I know, so incredible, differently able bloke doing the Dakar. He's done it a few times now. What a legend.
Yeah, he's great.
And chosen not. People drop out, don't they? It costs a certain amount per round. If you're not going to win a prize, then sometimes people choose to save the money for the following season.
Well, yeah, and I mean, especially for events like this one, where it's a flyaway event, and you've got the price of just the flight alone is, a lot more than if you were to go somewhere in Europe.
But then you are going on holiday as well, and we do know some people come down to that. Yeah, I'm going to go and do the last round because it's lovely. Yeah, it's miserable in Europe. I know a lot of you are watching in Europe anyway, but it's Yeah, we're coming around to that time of year again, aren't we?
I've got a bit of an in-betweeners quote stuck in my head when I got off the plane. You know,
is it one that's suitable for broadcast?
It is, yeah, it is. it was the one where they walk out of the airport and they're like, oh, it's hot. It might be too hot. It might be.
Yeah. It's very British, isn't it?
It is.
I hope you're enjoying us talking about the weather and ice creams. Olafsson going to get the merge from Gryazin. 2.2 seconds was the gap, down to 0.2 as they come through to cross the line. Olafsson, the time is 3:04.4, so he goes fastest. And Eklev was a 3:06.5. It's a tiny bit of track development now, Dan, but not really, to be honest. You can see Blue Groove out in the dirt.
Yeah, my only fear now is it's going to start to turn the other way and start to rut up. We've seen in the past a lot of punctures from this track where it starts to create craters effectively. There are some big old holes that can form on this dirt. Of course, they've developed that through the years of competing here.
A few Swedish people have come a very long way with the rest of us Europeans struggling with sunburn. So Olafsson, Gryazin, Volders and Petter Narsha. And where do they go? So you can see Olafsson and Gryazin to the top of the table. Your championship regulars. Good job by Eklev to be in P3. Volders and Narsha look 5th and 6th. Jesse Kallio, though, is the one who I do feel really sorry for. So I wonder if they'll look at his points and decide that he can't make it. The thing is, if he comes out tomorrow down, a couple of people getting DQ'd, and if he could win sessions, bearing in mind Kallio can win sessions, but I think it's a huge ask with a DNF and a DNS. I think 13th is extremely likely, and then it comes down to what Gunderson and McConnell do.
Simon, very good. Looks good that you could make it into the final tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully. We try to keep up with this fast boys, so we're trying as best as we can.
Are you enjoying this circuit in Cape Town?
Yeah, it's great, actually.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Certainly enjoying it when it goes your way. So good start by Olafsson. I thought Gryazin was going to do okay, but Volders was on his inside. Gryazin got dumped to 4th on the way into turn 1, but Dan, people get pushed wide there. It's another one of those first corners where you're not really sure what the best tactics are.
Yeah, I mean, you can try and hang it all the way around the outside, but there is always the big risk of someone coming up your inside like Gryazin just done there, and he had a good tactic to back out on the way into turn 1 and then following Olafsson all the way around the inside. So although he was 4th on the way in, it was the best move to maximise his exit. Is Olafsson there not maximising his exit?
Well, he maximised the width of the track, didn't he? But it wasn't possibly ideal in terms of panel damage. Gryazin here. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because the standard lap is slightly lower than the Joker, so as you come out the standard lap, you're not quite sure where your competitor is, but Olafsson appeared in front of him, and that was job done. Final race of Q2 for RX2, and this is going to bring our Saturday coverage to a halt. Stay with us and we'll bring you the stream times for tomorrow. There we are.
No
Jamaican
breaks, no problem.
Yeah, Team Fraz, hashtag Team Fraz. There's the Jamaican flags. There's a load of them come across for a bit of an end of season holiday. I tell you what, it's not looking at, he was looking at a battle for 3rd place, and say with Kallio out, there's a chance here he could be in the battle for 3rd. Maybe for 2nd, but it depends what happens with Gunderson. Eriksson on the inside here, having won Q1, will be feeling very comfortable indeed. Not such a great start from him. Gunderson going to try and shut the door. The middle of the grid, Fraser McConnell's got a good start too. It's practically even across. McConnell drops into the inside. Gunderson runs wide, McConnell up the inside of him, and it's Oliver Eriksson who is in the lead at the exit of turn 2 despite a bad start, Dan. He's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the reaction times there. Gunderson was beside him but got the fastest reactions, and but yeah, Eriksson, I remember speaking to him back along that he says every time off the start he makes sure he absolutely nails his gear shifts, and that was how he was able to pull back up alongside Gunderson and get in front.
There you can get a much better idea of the scale of this place, the length of that long straight down. And look at the gap that Eriksson's got already over McConnell. McConnell will be chased him down. Trogan 3rd, Austin Gunderson's gone Joker early. So Gunderson now is your danger man. Watch that gap. It was 4, okay, it's 4.3, gone up to 4.4, but he's just come off the Joker. So give him a lap to settle in. I don't think Ericsson will respond. I think Ericsson will stay out front until the end.
No, it's too much risk. There's so much traffic now that he would risk coming in and slotting in behind somebody else and then potentially losing out to McConnell. So as Gunderson just hit a marker there.
Clipped a marker, so Gunderson might well get a warning for that. Who else have we got warnings for? We've got a warning for Gryers in. But Fraser McConnell and Simon Olafsson are also on a single warning each. We'll have to wait and see if Gunderson appears on the list or not. 2 sessions ago, you know, well, he's done it, hasn't he, really? But he's not going to celebrate until intermediate standings are done, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to count his chickens, does he? So, yeah, he just needs to keep it calm from this point on. As soon as, you know, he's got, to be honest, once he's made it into the semis, he's done it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Gunderson can't get him, and neither can McConnell, so it's only what Kallio does tomorrow. But, you know, I suppose, no, it's a wing and a prayer, because, no, he can't, because Kallio's 22 back, and let's say that Ollie rolled it, and then Kallio somehow scraped, well, he'd get in then in 12th place, he'd have to win his semi and win the final to get 14 points, and he's 22 odd back, so I'm just not convinced that he'd be able to get it done. So, it's a good position to be in, but until it's absolutely finished, he's not going to be getting too excited about it.
No, he doesn't want to celebrate too early. He had a situation earlier on in the year at Rally X Nordic where he was celebrating the potential to win that title, and then unfortunately was taken away from him to Robin Larson. So he doesn't want to be having all of that again. On the final lap, it was Ollie Eriksson was out in front, and Fraser McConnell P2, and Gunderson getting Sami Mäki-Trogen on the Joker merge.
Good job, 4.1 seconds faster. I mean, Eriksson is a machine, isn't he? So. Two sessions have gone the way of Ollie. I'm calling it. I think that's Fraser McConnell's mum that we can hear shouting in the back. I might be wrong, but I think it is. I think we've got a microphone somewhere there. Look at that Hansen flag in the background. Look, I love the fact people have travelled so far to come and see these guys compete. I know a lot of you talk to us on social about coming to a European event, and you should. They're all brilliant. They've all got their own character. But if you fancy a long haul one, you know, this is a nice one to come and get a bit of winter sun. You see a lot of people have made that journey. 3:00.262 for Ollie Eriksson. McConnell 1.8 seconds off the back, and then we've got Ben Philip Gunderson, Sami Mäki-Trogen, Linus Östlund. Haven't seen a warning yet for Gunderson. There's where they go though. Eriksson, McConnell and Gunderson right at the top of the table. Sami Mäki-Trogen in 4th place, so that the 4 of those 5 guys have gone straight to the top. Linus Östlund drops into 7th place. Ollie Eriksson's time, by the way, was 1/10 of a second different in Q2 to Q1. That is how consistent he is. I mean, you know, he is a bit of a weapon. Good job by Fraser McConnell up in turn 1 here to get up the inside of everyone after he didn't do too well off the start. But it was Eriksson for me again with a bad start, but somehow finds his way through.
Yeah, I mean, it's just timing his gear shifts and everything, isn't it? He's studied these cars so much, and he knows how to get peak performance.
Yeah, and he's certainly got peak performance in that one. I'll say 1/10 of a second between his time from his Q1 run and his Q2 run. Ollie Eriksson, he just looks totally and utterly at home in the car, and if he takes another title, you got to hand it to him. But then we want to see him move up to supercar. We want to see what he can do once he gets into the 600 horsepower monster. Of course, we've seen him do that in Nordic. I want to see him do it in Euro World. That'd be great. Eriksson takes it.
Ollie, the secret to winning championships is consistency. You've been so consistent already just here today. How was that for you?
That was good. Gunderson had me a bit in the start, but I didn't give him anything in turn 1, and he left me room there, so it was fair racing between us, and that was fun. From there I could just do my thing, and I heard there was some traffic behind, so I could just be clear out there. But yeah, it's a bittersweet victory. It doesn't feel really good now seeing Jess not making it out to the grid, so it's not so fun.
Yeah, we could see that was really disappointing.
You know, I don't have words.
Let's take a look at the standings after Q2 for RX2, and it is with a double win. Oliver Eriksson at the top of the table. Fraser McConnell P2. Equal on points look to Ben Philip Gunderson, but he gets P2 because he had the better result in the most recent qualifying session. Sami Mäki-Trogen 2:40, so that's 4th in 2 sessions for him. Olofsson 5th, good performance by Olofsson and Osland as well. Gryers in Steve Volders down in 8th place. And Eklev, Mitchak, Narsha, Verkala and Jesse Kallio. So Jesse Kallio, 30 points. I say they'd need to get that car out tomorrow, and he'd need to win both sessions, in my opinion, to stand a chance of dragging himself into the semis. But championship is all but over, and Ericsson knows. But Ericsson, I think, genuinely disappointed not to have that fight. So Dan, a shame. Ericsson, that's not fake, is it? He's involved in the running of those cars, and he'd rather race Kallio. I think he knows this weekend he'd kind of got the job done. He was disappointed. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you don't want to be winning your championship without the fight where your competitor drops out. I mean, of course, like you said, he pretty much had it sewn up anyway. But he would have at least wanted to fight Jesse on track. A bit of a scrap. And of course, World RX, interesting session. I say the top guys were all in the same race, but because the grids were reversed, it was the first one. So yeah, there was only 2 seconds between them, but Dan, by the end of the session, because of the way the track developed, that 2 seconds became 8, 10 places, and it spread them out. So they're going to be in separate races tomorrow on a developing track. Yeah, I mean, it's going to play in the hands of one of them at least, Kevin, isn't it? Yeah, Kevin's in race 3, I think, and Andreas and Timmy, I think, are in race 2 by virtue of the fact they were slow in Q2. So, but Timmy's right up at the top of the standings. So for us, advantage Timmy? Yeah, I think it's got to be, hasn't it? It just depends, of course, what happens in tomorrow's qualifying session. Andreas might be able to overhaul him or whatever, but it's rallycross. Anything can happen. Look, we've seen people with 5-second penalties. We've seen people get disqualified for touching track markers. We've seen punctures. You've seen it all. This sport is an unpredictable, wonderful roller coaster. But at the end of that ride, we'll be a world champion, and we're really looking forward to bringing you more of the action tomorrow. We're going to leave you with Neil Cole.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Dan. Yes, what an amazing finale this is going to be. All the climax tomorrow, the very last day of competition of the 2019 season. We will have a new champion, and we're still nowhere near anywhere closer at knowing who the champion is going to be. There's only one way to find out. Watch us tomorrow, Q3 early in the morning about 10, then Q4, and then the semi-finals and the final wherever you watch it on your usual TV. But thank you very much for watching today. Keep in touch with all the activity on #WorldRX. But for now, from all the crew here, we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.